Hello, and welcome back to the Outer Worlds. If I remember correctly, we have approached the point where we either go with the DOCs or with something that feels like the end mission, because we need to go to Tartarus to rescue. Oh yeah, to rescue Phineas, and it feels like it might be the end of the game. Not sure if I'm correct or not, but yeah, we shall see. I am more inclined to finish first the main story and then proceed with the DLCs. I hope that there is an opportunity to keep playing after the main story is wrapped up. If not, we'll just see how the game ends, and then we will load this save and likely proceed with the DLCs. But again, maybe Tartarus is not the last mission. Now, huh. Oh, Ellie's ability. Wait a second. No, I do not have any abilities, so a lot of these perks are about companion ability, but with my skill of inspiration at 6 points, I'm unable to use any abilities. So majority of these perks, sorry, are well practically useless. That is most unfortunate, I must say. Yeah, sure.
Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
All right. Okay.
Doc Wells never hurt nobody. Just a kindly old fella living by his lonesome up in the rings, tinkering at his table. The board just couldn't leave him be.
And here we are, entertaining the notion of busting him out. That's insane, and likely a hell of a lot of fun.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
The Labyrinth is a massive maximum security prison on an uninhabitable planet. Being incarcerated there is seen as a fate worse than death.
You've been
But
inside,
since no one ever
didn't you?
makes it out, this is all just speculation.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the trouble. Trust me, I know.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
Yeah, they got them
If you
too.
really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
Okay. I'm sorry, but Parvati seems the least interested in this shit. I mean, even Sam looks more enthusiastic. And I mean, he's a robot. Anyway, crew, what do you think about all this?
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard. And I mean that as a compliment.
You didn't hire me to think. and I ain't about to start now. You're my boss, and I'll walk into fire with you.
Aww.
I think it's insane, but maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous, and I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain. But there are worse ways to go than dying for a good cause. I'm in.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea, but I admire your bravado, Captain, which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds, that you will be successful.
I mean, with such an encouragement, sure, let's freaking do this. Strap in.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick, got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Oh, hopefully
Never
so.
thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risky behavior is rubbing off on me, Captain.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
Named after its hellish atmosphere, Tartarus is where the board maintains the maximum security penal complex known as the Labyrinth. Damn it. So, the problem is that I would prefer to finish, as I stated, my preference would be to deal with the main story and then go to the DLCs. But such a message, I'm very grateful to have it by the way, implies that I will be unable to complete DLCs after we go to Tartarus. So maybe it will be wiser to start with the DLCs. And the first one for level 25 was the Peril on Gorgon, if I remember correctly. A remote asteroid home to marauders, smugglers, and an abandoned Space's Choice facility.
We've arrived at Ambrose Manor.
Now. It is called the manor, right? So maybe we want to take Ellie because of her upbringing and stuff. On Gorgon, it's always Adrena time.
Welcome to Ambrose Manor. We were not expecting company. Please follow. Do not stray from the path.
Aw, that's no fun.
You wanted some fun, didn't you?
Unit can help itself. Please do not be concerned.
I greatly appreciate this small animation though, because I did not expect them to be able to fall like that. Okay, what do we have here? Some beans. Coolant tank, pneumatic piston, some glacial water, weapon pods, kitchen keycard. Groundkeeper's Journal, Volume 1, Daily Routine. Sweep the Tranquility Garden for Mrs. Olivia, oil the fish for Mr. Harvey, repeat. When they hired me on as groundskeeper, I assumed there'd be grounds to keep. I'm not even allowed inside the manor. Everyone told me the Ambrose family keeps to themselves, but they're a bunch of hermits, save for the little one. Yes, I ought to find a hobby. Mr. Harvey dropped his keycard in the pond. I'll hold on to it in case he ever comes looking, but I won't go near the house. Wouldn't want to get between Mrs. Olivia and her research. Okay. Some little one is probably going out. Okay. And Mrs. Olivia has some kind of a research. Okay, there is also a barred door. Can you please remind me what's this DLC all about? Yes, I received a package. A cryptic phonograph left by Lucky Montoya mentioned a high-stakes job and a wealthy client, Mini Ambrose. The job was dangerous enough to cost Lucky his arm and possibly his life. So okay, we are looking for Mini Ambrose.
This unit is under construction. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, that looks pretty sweet. Tranquility Garden. Am I ruining it by walking like this?
At the very least, there ought to be something worth stealing in there.
It's a completely static skybox, is it not? Absolutely no star blinks or changes or disappears or appears, just the asteroids that move around. What Saltuna Pond? Alright. I mean, well, I guess that checks out. It's a little bit weird, let's put it that way, but we'll have our own quirks and features, right? Some occasional beans here and there. Don't mind if I do. Ambrose Manor.
Okay, maybe not.
It looks pretty abandoned. You're not the talkative one. Some charging stations, alright. Domestic auto mechanicals routines. Logs. Recent activity. Okay. Let's see, 27, 26. Okay, so let's go from the older ones. User O Ambrose activated dinner time protocol. Meal was a boar's roast. H Ambrose, 3 PKO salad. O Ambrose, woolly loaf. Routine maintenance logs omitted. W Ambrose attempted to log into system. 2 tries remaining. 1 try remaining. Final attempt failed. Working terminal for 5 days. Pantry list. Last automated check was okay. So tuna fillets stock is spoiled. Please replenish. Woolly cow steak stock is spoiled. Mock apples spoiled. Borston beans 13 cans. Mock apple shake 9 bottles remaining. Right. I can unlock that with kitchen card. And we'll have some inaccessible doors left and right. Where are you going, fellow, by the way? The damn cloth is moving as a cloth. Look at that. I mean, it is pretty janky, but it's still impressive. Quite a lot of doors are either barred or locked, like one way or another. Well, at least this one is clearly broken. Okay. Very creepy room. Dearest mother and father, I've paced the halls of this gilded cage long enough. Since you won't permit me to help the family business, I'm leaving to start a business of my own. Am I too young for such ambitions? Perhaps. But that's the risk you take when you fashion a daughter in your image. Byzantium will welcome me with open arms. Won't that be a new sensation? If I ever return, it'll be to claim my rightful spot at the head of this family, Minnie. So Minnie's not here. Lady, you're speaking rather quietly. And also, what the heck is going on here?
So who the devil are you?
I'm Captain of the Unreliable.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright, my burden, and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass. To Gorgon.
You want to toast the asteroid?
That's right. The Gorgon asteroid is pretty to look at, but evil to the core. I raise a glass to my adversary out of respect.
Are you a mini Ambrose?
That's right. And I take it you're the type who skips formalities, so let's get down to business.
But you're Wilhelmina.
Now, what brings
Oh,
you to
Mina,
my house,
Mina.
handsome? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
I'm here about a severed arm.
A severed arm? How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
Does the name Lucky Montoya mean anything to you?
Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man. Very brooding and theatrical. Always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
He's definitely not doing that anymore.
But if something happened to him... Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
So what's his arm doing in my ship?
I sent Lucky on a dangerous mission to the Gorgon asteroid. Whoever found his remains must have wanted to inform the next of kin. What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
Let me guess, you need someone to finish whatever Lucky started.
Excellent deduction. I can tell I found the right man for the job. How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
Remember, play hard to get. That's negotiation.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
Gorgeous?
I like my employees well-groomed. Appearances are everything in high society.
Give me the details and I'll let you know.
My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck.
Go on.
One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
What did they say about her?
Everything you can imagine and more. Dereliction of duty, circulating anti-corporate memos, taking longer than average coffee breaks. The list goes on. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it.
What do you think happened on Gorgon?
I don't know, and Spacer's Choice won't say. They don't discuss anything that tarnishes their brand. Gorgon has a dark history. The project fell apart. Personnel were shuffled across the system. With Mother gone, now I'm all that's left.
Where's your father in all of this?
Father lost more than his job on Gorgon. I'll say no more than that. The asteroid may look like a glittering jewel, but I assure you the resemblance ends there. Gorgon is poisonous to the core. One might even say cursed.
Tell me about your mother.
I admired Mother, but we weren't close. She disapproved of everything about me, really. I couldn't measure up to her example. She didn't make time for us. I remember thinking that she never wanted a child, and never forgave me for being one, naive and irresponsible as I was.
Sounds familiar, Ellie?
Trust me, we are nothing alike.
A kindred spirit. Well, well, charmed. Today is full of surprises. Mother worked herself to the bone. She wanted to make the colony a better place, no matter who or what got sacrificed along the way. She never spared a thought for those of us who cherished her, who suffered for her idea of progress.
Did you two ever get along?
We got close once. When I was a child, I enjoyed looking over Mother's shoulder, playing backseat chemist while she peered into a microscope. One day, she told me to leave before I broke something. Then, I got mad and broke something. Typical night in the Ambrose house. Mother and Gorgon were made for each other. I had the misfortune to be stuck in the middle. I need your help, Captain. Project Gorgon killed Mother and disgraced the Ambrose name, and no one has been held accountable. Spacer's Choice buried the past like a dirty secret.
We are practically strangers. Why put your trust in me?
You followed an uncertain lead all the way to my doorstep. You're curious, resourceful, and perceptive. All the marks of a good private eye. Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're going to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's Choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
Danger and corporate intrigue. This sounds like my kind of job.
I admire your enthusiasm. This manor has echoed with my ennui, and I can feel you breathing new life into the walls. When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust. The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
What can I expect to face on Gorgon?
I've never understood why, but Gorgon is teeming with marauders. They almost seem drawn to sorrow and misfortune. Then there's the test subjects, those who survived anyway. Ravenous creatures left behind like so much salvage.
What did you tell Lucky about the job?
I told him everything I've told you. Just the facts. Maybe a couple of harmless embellishments. Why?
I'm trying to calculate the odds of this gig getting me killed.
It's sure to be 100% with that attitude. Still, you're smart to ask. Lucky spent most of our time together spinning a pistol around his index finger. Not sure he listened to any of my advice.
That sounds like Lucky, all right. The man loved to show off.
He had an aura of rugged individualism that was quite charming. Not that it helped him in the end. But you won't let me down, will you, Captain?
I'll try not to, since it's my life on the line.
That's the spirit. There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad, the Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room, so if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
I think I've heard of that place. Cheap whiskey, rough crowd. You'll love it.
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want. Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
Enticing. Music to my ears.
Finally, I get to put my inheritance to work. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
I mean, let's not be naive here. By the state of the mansion, I don't think there is much left of the family fortune. So, plus maybe the lawyers, when she might have tried to clear the family name, probably also cost a lot. So, I'll be in touch.
A word of advice before you go, Captain. Trust no one.
Yeah, well, for
Mother's
starters, I
office
don't
is
trust
in the
you.
heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
It's not theft if she's giving us permission.
SAM units cannot perform any jobs that have not been accepted by the registered customer. Entering quiet mode.
I was looking for the master bedroom key. She also mentioned that her mother, like there was quite a gap in time, right? Oh, I only have events. Well, yeah, okay. So it's like an event ID 3000, then quite a lot of routine maintenance, event, and then 37,000. Pancake mix. Anyone interested in making some pancakes? Woolly fillet. I can't believe it's not bossed. Interesting. Oh, the music. What's with the music? I can't make anything. There are quite a lot of money, but nothing. Yes, master bedroom key card. Quite a lot of awards. Okay, weapon parts. Another ring. Not much on the shelves, just some bracelet, pocket watch, that kind of stuff. Terminal. Dr. Olivia Ambrose. Along that wilderness of glass, no swelling tell that winds may be, upon some far-off happier sea, no heavings hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. EAP. Ambrose O. Okay, thank you. Logs. Deleted logs. We'll come a little bit back. We'll come back to that. Let's see. 23, 24. 1st of February. This morning I gave birth to a healthy child. Perhaps that's a strange distinction to call her healthy, but after all I've endured to finally meet her, it matters. Yeah. That she exists at all against all the odds matters. I will call her Wilhelmina, after my late brother Wilhelm. I hope the law is kinder to her than it was to him. I hope for many things, truthfully. That she be smart and shrewd, that she be strong, relentless, undeniable. Most of all, I hope for her steel spine, that she does not bend when Halcyon would break her, that she should be stronger than I. March 17, 23, 24. So, what is it? Month and a half later. I must find Minnie a wet nurse. She demands to be fed throughout the day and night, and I simply cannot get a single thing done. The nurse will need to be exceptional, smart, educated, of means. Minnie must have the best start if she's going to survive the pit of vipers that is the Byzantium elite. Then there is the matter of a governess. I can't watch the child constantly, not if I am to do my work. How soon must I begin looking? Naturally, she'll have to be exceptional as well. And exceptional Byzantines don't exactly grow on trees. I will persuade Harvey to investigate this for me. The man has little else to do. November 22, 23, 29. 5 years later. I don't understand how anyone of ambition has time to keep a journal. I certainly don't. Yet here I am, indulging myself. Minnie's influence, no doubt. Her behavior concerns me. She's clingy, emotional. At 5, she should be starting to show some personality, not crying for her mother when I leave for another stint on Gorgon. This must be the fault of Mary, her governess, as Minnie certainly didn't learn this behavior from me. I'll have to fire the woman. It's clear she's not capable of instilling in Minnie a correct understanding of how to behave. Harvey despairs of ever finding a governess who meets my preposterous standards. He and I went in circles on the issue for hours, but he came around to my thinking eventually. Why shouldn't I want what's best for my daughter? Maybe I'll fire him too. He's your husband, eh? June 5, 2337. Another 8 years later, right? So that is 13 years old. Puberty. Should be fun. I'm at my wit's end with Minnie. At 13, she should have already mastered basic chemistry, physics, and mathematics, but she can barely handle long division. She struggles to remember the simplest equation and formulas, no matter how many times her governess raps her knuckles. By the time I was her age, I'd already made dynamite in my grandfather's laboratory. The only thing Minnie's making explode is my head. Her father asked why don't we just send her to boarding school, but I abhor the thought of her surrounded by those coddled idiots. More alarming still, she's begun to show an interest in romance serials and painting. She may have a strong grasp of color theory, and she shows some promise with watercolors, but surely that's the result of her education in spectroscopy, not any innate skill. What value has art anyway? She gave me a truly dreadful painting of Francis this morning, and I haven't a clue what to do with it. Perhaps I'll stuff it in my desk. We'll have a good laugh over it when she's grown and finally come to her senses. I already feel like that abuse coming from a parent. Not that I experienced that. That's very lucky for me. My wife, however, is another story. And like, come on, we all heard stories about harsh parents, right? April 28th, 2348, another 11 years, 24, okay. Lucien appeared at the manor this morning. I thought him here for me to finally wring my neck after our latest tiff. But no, it was much worse than that. He'd come to speak to me. No need to guess why. She's taken it upon herself to manage the household these last few years, since neither her father nor I have the time or frankly inclination. Under her watch, the staff's productivity has increased 35% while reducing our costs an astonishing 67%. We've saved tens of thousands of bits. Harvey tipped Lucien off, I expect. Now he wants to bring her on to help manage the Gorgon facilities, which I refused over Minnie's vociferous protestations. She cried after he'd left. I only wish that I could tell her why. Deleted logs. 2348. I lost all sense of dates, so. How did I raise such a willful daughter? She's no longer requesting to join the project, but demanding, I'm ready, I can help you, it's what I want. She doesn't know what she's asking. Gorgon is not safe. Compound X is in the air. It's infected the water and the food. It's no longer just the test subjects and the laboratory techs in danger now. Even the general staff are beginning to feel its effects. Even I feel it. I'm tied up in knots. I know what I must do, the only way I can persuade her away, but it'll kill me to do it. Minnie, I'll say, you just don't have what it takes. You're too shallow, too simple, too weak. She'll hate me for it. I'm sure it will destroy her, but it will work. She'll be safe. That's all I care about now. Oof. January 3rd, 2350. Harvey's gone. His body is still alive, but the man I married is dead. He broke into my office and stole the last of my release candidate ampules. Busted the door to splinters in his withdrawal fury. Was he addicted to something? I'd chartered a shuttle to bring him to the facility for medical care. Even convinced Prianta to oversee the transfer. He didn't want to, was worried it wasn't safe, but I begged him. Harvey killed the shuttle crew. Priant too. But the shuttle wouldn't take off without its pilot, and I couldn't stop his raging, so I left the ship on the landing pad for days. Watched him tear it to pieces with his bare hands. He lost a lot of blood. I brought him inside once he'd finally passed out and shoved him into a stasis solution tube. My work did this to him. Mine. Me. I did this. I'll tell Lucien. Surely now he'll delay the release. Surely after this. What the heck? Ambrose W. The search continues. I take from these entries that Mother was severe with her editorial pen. This is but one version of her, carefully curated, and not the one I wanted to find. Where is her unvarnished stream of consciousness? Where is her spontaneous brilliance? The search continues. My efforts will inevitably steer me to Gorgon. What then, Minnie? What then? Is that the painting we were talking about? So that's supposed to be Wilhelmina, right? Ambrose and Harvey? Whatever the case, we now have the master bedroom key card. Take. What is...
Dear Wilhelmina, I hope this letter finds you well. No, it's too stilted. It sounds like I'm writing to request a loan. Dearest Wilhelmina, I regret to tell you... Law, no, that's worse. When have I ever called her dearest? She's my daughter. This should be easy. How can a mother not know how to talk to her own daughter? My love, I can no longer... For your safety, I must... Oh, hell. Even if she despises me for what I had to do, I should still be able to say goodbye. Minnie, I have to leave, and I don't intend to come back. I love you. I'm so sorry.
What the hell am I getting into? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hooked. Give me more of that story. I want to know what kind of... What is Compound X? What is going on Gorgon? What... Yeah. I mean, maybe that's all I'm interested in, but that still makes me interested, right? That's what matters.
Expresses
Since when do I have woolly cows? I completely missed that point, but... Oh, another N-ray. Okay. Doctor's orders. Grows in power the closer you are to death, just like a real doctor. Not really? Attacks with this weapon deal increased damage when the wielder is low on health. So right now damage is like decreased by 50%. Interesting. What's that, by the way? Can I... Thank you.
We are now in orbit above Gorgon.
So that's the manor, right? And that's the Gorgon itself. With at least like 3 distinct facilities and maybe... Okay, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, something in the center. Yeah, okay, there is quite a lot of stuff. So like this, 1, 2, let's say this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around 8 locations there. So they say Gorgon is very dangerous, so we will be taking probably Nyoka as an expert on the wildlife. Maybe also like a marauder expert.
Analyzing location. The Sprat Shack. Error. Vermin suction nozzle not attached. This unit is unprepared for specialized eradication procedures.
That is upsetting. Okay, I see some beans, so we'll start with checking them. Disable emergency evacuation notice. It was relatively irritating, so yeah, that thing is busted. But I will pick the bypass shunt. Immediately I can see some bodies. Corporate commander.
This place is starting to remind me of home.
Which is precisely why I took you. Marauder crack shot.
Nice.
To be clear, I have no idea where to walk or what to do. Like, with regards to the DLC, up until that moment I'm entirely blind, so I'm just like walking around because there are some beans to clear out, and I'm like, sure, why not? Can I pass them somehow? Huh. Yes, this is an elevator. Elevator where? I do not intend to go yet too far from this location. Was this Marauder pushover? Plunderer, okay. Anti-VUR.
This unit is currently in wait cycle. Please return later. Have a better than natural day.
Anti-Cleo, by the way. First of all, what does this acronym stand for? Second, he looks cool. Sam, please don't be jealous. Fortunately, the terminal is offline. That is not cool. Oh. Sure grip and speed grip, but no harsh grip. Come on. Music box. Okay. Some of these boxes are surprisingly well locked. Protective monocle. Don't I have something like that? I have reinforced headwear, medical plus 5, persuade plus 5. This gives me persuade plus 7, so please go away. Again, terminal that is offline. 2 of them actually. Ah, spread track. Okay, that's in this direction. Khaleel Chakroon. Okay.
I got supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared.
We have the same outfit, don't we?
Is that what my thoughts sound like? Law, I've been standing near that alarm too long. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one around here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
I take it that evacuation alarm wasn't urgent.
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. Something to do with that scrap project Gorgon from years back. Thanks for turning it off, by the way. I'd have lost my mind if the damn thing had gone on much longer.
Why didn't someone shut it off?
We tried. Couldn't persuade the control terminal to listen. No one round here is particularly mechanically inclined, and no one was gonna shut it down by force. That's for sure. I know, because even von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw a man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
What can you tell me about Project Gorgon?
Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well.
What have you got for sale?
Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Oof. Handy deconstruction. The original brand name Auto Unfortunata never caught on. It's a unique one. And it costs 5. What is that? Okay, no. Stop it. Do not let your intrusive thoughts win today. You gotta resist that. I also have a bench here. That is very nice. Do you mind if I... Yeah, you do. Okay, so there is a working elevator. That is interesting discovery. Do you mind if I check your quarters? I mean,
Muting volume now.
I'm just not a fan of locks, okay? I didn't steal anything. Just open it. What do we have over here? Serialized Law and Organization Guardian. Okay, welcome user Tran D. Notice electricity rationing in effect. By accessing this terminal, you consent to paying 1 bit per every option selected. Out of curiosity, I have 248, right? Check rationing bill. Employee currently owes 9,509 bits. Pay his bill. Why would I ever do that? 9511. Cool. Shipment history. Outgoing shipments. It really goes deep into the menu, eh? Okay, shipment 411. Ship name Perseus, voyage Terra 2, Loop E1, Port of Load Gorgon, Port of Discharge Edgewater. Contents 2,000 cartons containing redacted, 3 discharged staff, 5 reassigned staff. Alert manifest content exceeds the recommended maximum weight of this vessel. Return to outgoing shipments. Shipment TXY. Again, Perseus. Loop SB4 because it goes to Stella Bay. 100 cartons containing prototype redacted, 2 tons raw or off redacted, and 15 reassigned staff. Shipment history, incoming shipments, shipment Z7J from Tartarus. 350 cartons containing 100 units each, sterile injection ampules, 30 high-pressure steel cylinders containing oxygen, 25 volunteers. These infamous prison volunteers, eh? Okay, vessel name, profit margin from Byzantium. 3 corporate security squads containing 3 fire teams each. 500 rounds light ammunition, 2000 round heavy ammunition, 1 flat containing 10 units, Moonman standee. Okay. Messages. Incoming messages from Mostly C. Various observations on the Argos's rate of export with a reprimand. Mr. Tran, are you aware of the concept of relativity? This is a rhetorical question. I am aware that Space's Choice training does not include business philosophy in its curriculum. Consider this a remedial education. Broadly, relativity is an economic idea that describes productivity in terms of relationship. For example, from your point of view, the Argosy, your freight depot, exports shipments at a perfectly reasonable rate. However, from the point of view of your enterprising colleague, Reynard, the Argosy's freight depot exports shipments at a positively pathetic rate. If a single one of your colleagues is capable of 3 times your productivity, then relative to your colleague, the Argosy freight depot is a failure. The rubric of your success is measured relative to your fastest, strongest, and most productive colleagues. Do you understand? Please take a moment to consider the contents of this message and commit them to your heart. Furthermore, please select one of the following reprimands below and append it to your permanent record. A. The quality of your work is unacceptably low by Space's Choice standards. B. The same, but unacceptably low relative to that of your colleagues. C. By receiving an official reprimand on your permanent record, you have violated the Space's Choice Code of Conduct, which will result in an official reprimand. Work fortifies the spirit. Outgoing messages to Reynard. Buddy, I don't understand how you manage to log 3 times the number of shipments I do out of that miserable shack you call an office, but you need to cut in to cut it out. Mostly's been poking at the Argos's ship rate numbers again, and now he started asking why Louis and I can't pack as quickly together as you can alone. I'm thinking maybe I should tell him you are dipping into the supply of the prototype Adrena time. I don't think he'd like that, do you? Shit, maybe you are. If that's the case, well, maybe you ought to come lend me and Louis a hand when we load up the next haul of test subject corpses. Get yourself a real good view of what Cam's Wonder drug does. Archived messages. From Velasquez. Luis. Okay. GIMC, Gorgon internal messaging system interface. Okay. Shipment inquiry, high priority. Dom, you gotta help me out. The Monarch delivery's gone MIA, and now the big guy at corporate is messaging my personal terminal looking for answers. Not mostly. Not Goodfellow. That seersucker suit-wearing M from Byzantium. Bancroft. Bancroft? Your kid cousin still works in Cascadia, right? Do you think he could hoof it over to Stella Bay and just, I don't know, poke around the port, see if it's there? Shipment ID is TXY, the transport we packed last week. I know it's a lot to ask, and you know how I feel about begging for handouts, but I swear to the law, if I looked out my door, that Bancroft's guy be there in the street, slapping a wrench against his palm like in a mob boss in one of those bootleg serials from Groundbreaker. Please, man, you know how fond I am of my kneecaps. Aren't we all?
You have an unpaid balance. This unit is watching.
Technically, it's not me, it's Tren D. It's not my fault he didn't log out, eh? No, this is just some food package. We're not interested in food packages. Yeah, this is just the intended road. And that should take me to the spread shack exterior. Now, I suggest that we actually have a pause over here. And I suggest that we start exploring the spread shack and possibly the rest of Gorgon in the next episode. For now, thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay. If that's the case, then please leave me a like and subscribe to the channel, or otherwise let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a very nice day out there, and bye.